We just got to learn to acknowledge that there's a possibility. Like in full acceptance, we look at things with both eyes, right? And we can acknowledge that there's a possibility that it's giving us the information that it's dying. So now's not the time to lean back and pull away because of fear. Now's the time to lean forward and move closer because of love. Right? Think about putting out a fire. Okay? If I take this mug of water to a fire that's the size of the computer keyboard and I throw it on there.
Right? We're not throwing water on the computer keyboard.
Oh man, never get to have any fun. And we throw it on the keyboard. There's a good chance that two things are going to happen. One, that water is going to put out some of the fire. Two, that in response to the energy from the water being projected through space and creating a little vacuum of air, while part of the fire is getting put out, part of the fire is getting fed by the oxygen that's being moved by the water flying at it and flares up. So what we're proposing here is, in the understanding of that and the intent to put out the fire, what's the best response? The best response is, cool, I almost put out the fire. That was my goal. I need to put out the fire. I'm just going to grab a bit more water and pour it on the rest of the fire. Right? But our shame reaction, by that powerfully laid in shame formula that we're all taught in ways we don't even realize, says, oh crap, I failed. I'm never going to put out the fire. I'm never going to be good at putting out any fires. That fire is just going to get bigger. Look, it flared up. Oh God, I don't know what to do. Water, it doesn't work in putting out fires. Ah. We get intentional about that. Now we got some power. Now we got some power that we can call in whenever we choose. So that escape velocity, that awareness, that altitude over the old agreement isn't something that we bump into accidentally, or that, you know, we're good enough of a at being a good person while we know we're actually really bad, that the gods bestowed it upon us and they gave us a little flash and we get it once every millennia. And oh well, I better just, it's one chip I've got to spend on this thing, so I'm just better put it over there. Forget the rest of the stuff. I'm gonna have to suffer through that. It flips all that on its head completely. And now we're in this space of like, oh, okay. So I mean, I have to stand in the face of and acknowledge and accept that the cup of water I had didn't put out the entire fire. Okay, so I gotta get some more water. Or I don't have any more water. But then I remember, because I'm centered and grounded, propelled by love, not repelled by fear, that there's other ways to put out the rest of the fire. Right? But I'm never going to squelch all the flames, especially after they flared up a little bit, because I was putting them out, not because they were getting stronger, but because they were getting weaker. If I don't accept the pain of maybe having to go get more water, or the pain of maybe having to go find a blanket or some leaves and some dirt to smother the fire, because that feels painful. Painful. Why? Because it feels like we failed in the moment with our grand intent. Right? Stay in the grip of that pain, and then we start to suffer. But that's a self-inflicted wound of the shame formula, which says, well, you have no power to make any choice about this pain that you're perceiving right now. So if you accept it, you're stuck there forever. All big, giant, fat turds of a lie. So I'll sum it up with this. That's the signal that we're actually getting to the heart of the thing, as opposed to failing at getting to the heart of the thing. And we dance with the partner that brought us there, right? Keep doing the thing that you were doing that got the fire to flare up a little bit in the first place. Because a step or two more, we're now one, putting out the fire for good, not demonizing any fire, because maybe we could have another fire that we could utilize, but also in the process being very aware of the power of our actual intent that's driven by connection and love for ourselves, as opposed to the illusion that our intent's too weak because of the things we're afraid of that flare up when we actually look at and accept them. So why bother looking at them in the first place?